This ship is made to party. Just look at all those speakers on the front. Hello, fellow Novians. My name is Rob, and yes, I know those are not speakers on the front of this ship. They are atmospheric brakes, but I've always said the things look like freaking old school speakers. Here's a picture for comparison. Anyway, welcome to another episode in the review series. Today we are looking at the Equinox by Huracan Aerospace. And I have a fondness for the name Equinox since that was the first cruise ship that I ever worked on when I was working on them cruise ships. So let's go ahead and take a look at the exterior as we do. It's got some nice lines, even though the outside wing area things here are a little bit boxy, but it kind of works in terms of the ship in its favor. But we got a nice kind of rounded slash cornered slash the voxel works really nice. That's what I'm saying. The voxel works really nice. You don't see any jagged edges. There's no Play-Doh, as I like to say. Just very nice lines. And as we go all the way around, you can see the stop making stuttering game. So I recently went from 64 gigs of RAM down to 32, and it seems to have made the game worse. So hey guys, if this game can't run on 32, y'all have things to work on. So anyway, back to the ship at hand. We have the logo on the side here for Huracan Aerospace, and hopefully I said that right. We got adjusters, we got some looks like hover engines and vertical stabilizers. Vertical boosters. That's the word I'm looking for. So we've got some nice sunken in wheel wells here, so the landing gear will stow away nicely when in flight. We got hovers, we got vertical boosters, and some other things going on here. We've got, let's see what these are. Uncommon military atmospheric. Yeah, because I like the power. There are 8 of those, and we've got some uncommon military space engine larges with some nice voxel work as well, hiding those engines. Especially with the green, doesn't really fit in with most builds, even though it looks black in most light anyway. Now, what I don't like is the fact that they made the maneuver engines bright yellow. I got a ship I'm working on over there, and you can kind of see there's bright yellow things on the back of a white and blue ship. Anyway, I could cover it, but we'll see what happens. All right, staying on this ship though, I do like how the wings, all these are medium wings, are inset into there and kind of hidden. So we've got some good wings going on there, and no wings sticking off the sides like I do on most of my ships, making it very much more aesthetically pleasing, unless that's a image you're going for. All right, so that's the exterior. I think we can jump up on top here very easily. Yep, and we can see that there are also retro rocket brakes up here, and more adjusters. Oh, and it looks like we have some medium advanced military space engines for maneuvering in space, and the brakes are up here as well. Do we have more maneuver engines on the sides? No, just on top, which is handy if you're trying to land on a space platform. It does provide a little bit of extra downward thrust so you can get landed and all that stuff. Even though most platforms do generate their own gravity when you get close enough that it drops you down there. All right, so All right, folks. So I noticed as I was going through the interior that my microphone wasn't on anymore. So thanks, OBS, for that. I appreciate it. Yay. So let's go back over. Let me put that away. And we're going to start again from the end of the exterior here. And for you, you'll just notice some weird transition stuff. But otherwise, let's go ahead and look at the interior. So we've got a little button here. And I really do like the scripting that nullfunction has set up. He's got a whole door control thing that he has written and is in this ship. And currently, the only way to get it is in this ship, and for other ships he makes. So that is it's a good selling point to have custom scripting for ships that you sell. Yeah. So let's go ahead and hit the button. You can see that the door opens, and we can just go inside here. And there's another button here. You can also set this door in automatic mode so that when you go inside, it automatically closes. Or you just hit the button here, and it closes the door. Inside right away in the front here, you can see we've got the space radar, we've got the atmo radar, and we've got some containers and some scrap containers as well. Now, all these scrap containers are all linked together. So anytime you see this little scrap icon in this ship, it means that that is an access point for the scrap container. And the same thing with these cargo containers. These cargo containers are all linked together along with the 4 large cargo containers in this ship. So these are the access points. So instead of having a hub, which I'm assuming is somewhere in this ship, you can just click on any of these access points to get access to the cargo. So that's great. You can just come in here and click access right, and you're connected, and or declare as declare as linked container, and then you're connected to the containers, and you can go ahead and fill up and all that stuff. Up here we've got some hatches that give access to components. There is pretty much nothing that you can't repair from inside this ship. You'll see like these little holes in the floor. Right here's the landing gear, so you can repair that from inside here. We've got a bathroom right by the front door because when you gotta go, if you're at one of those festivals where you're blasting the speakers on the front, you gotta go to the bathroom and you run in here, then you can run right back out and out the door and back to the festival, right? So that's important. And we've got some bunk beds here. So if you need to crash, you got 4 bunk beds here that the crew can use. Or if you're just a freeloader and you want a place to sleep for the night, that's a good thing, right? We've got these hexes in the floor all over the ship that allow you to repair the hover engines and the vertical boosters. And we've got access to the engines right here that we can repair. We've got access to the space engines. Why does it have this dented effect on the space engines? It's not like I flew this thing through a bird strike or something. Can we not have that texture, NQ? Maybe. We've got access to some other stuff in here. The other space engine you can get through there, and then some more access up there at the top through the floor. Let's see, another space engine up there, so you can kind of get to everything you need. We've got the space fuel tanks, the 3 atmo fuel tanks. There's one in the ceiling up there, and the warp drive here as well. So those are the repair points. And then on this side, we've got another access for the scrap storage and a little hatch that's covering the core, which looks like it is covered in galvanized gray steel. So this thing has a little bit of survivability. We've got some more gray steel panels here, but mostly aluminum, it looks like. Yeah, aluminum. And we've got DU damage report here. So if you damage the ship, you can just hook up to that and get going to figure out where your damage is. And on here we have these doors which you can open. It looks like I left this one open when I was doing the last video. Same thing, you've got holes in the floor for repairs. You've got the engines for repairs. You can get to all 3 of them here, looks like. and the large storage containers. And this is basically our mirror image of the other side, and also access to the scrap storage. So no matter where you are, if you need to repair it and you haven't linked to the storage container for the scrap, that's the way to do it. Let's see. Yeah. Let me close this door. Boop. So these doors on the inside are automatic. So you just open them, walk through them, and they'll close. The ones out there appear not to be so much. So let's go ahead back up to the front where the elevator is, and we'll go to the second floor. Whoop. Oh, nope, that's just me jumping. Whoop. There we go. I like to say voop, you know. We've got the res node on the ceiling here, and we've got the guts inside this box for the door systems and the lighting and all that stuff, and some data banks. There's a lot going on in there. Is that an emitter? Yeah. That I don't understand, so I'm just going to leave that closed because I just look at that and I go, that's a lot of stuff. You also have another button here to refresh the door system, so if you accidentally left the door on the front open, you can just tap that, and it cycles everything, and then you get the green light again for, you know, ready to go. We have the bridge at the front here, with another access to cargo and repair containers. And down at the back here, we have a hatch that allows you access to the lower system. If you didn't know, hatches are great in ships in case you take damage, because if a hatch explodes, it goes into open state until you repair it, meaning you can travel through that hatch when it's damaged, whereas like elevators, if they explode, you're just kind of stuck, or you have to cut holes in the floor to get to the lower section. In here, we have a little lounge with a table and some monitors there. What are we using? This is a dresser. That's a cool use of a dresser. It kind of looks like a refrigerator, right? And we've got the sink here and a nightstand, which is like, looks like one of those hand blowy machine things that dry your hands. Hand dryer. That's what I'm going for. That's a cool use of that. I did not think of that, but now I have. Let's see. We've got another access to the space engines here. And then we've got access to the wings here for repair of your wings while you're inside. Yep, all the wings, all the way up. And the VR station. And there's the warp drive again. And also on over here, we've got the captain's quarters, looks like, you know, with a personal shower and toilet. And, you know, a nice little plant here. Some more repair stations areas. So you get the wings on this side. And, you know, more space engine and all that stuff. All right. So let's go ahead. I've already got this thing filled up with 1 kiloton of ore. Creator says that this is rated for 1 kiloton into orbit. However, they have lifted more than 2 kilotons at a single go-ahead. So up here you can see the custom scripting for the door controller. As you can see, the main door is set to manual. That's why I had to close it, but you can also set it to auto. And there's a bunch of other stuff here like startup behaviors, shutdown behaviors. So yeah, these are set to close on shutdown. So basically this says, yeah, after 10 seconds, close the door. It's a cool system. Something I wish I had on my stuff, but you know, like I said, it's a selling point. It's a good selling point. In the cockpit here, we've got Sagacious's HUD running, also known as Saga HUD. It is a paid HUD, so to get a license to put on your ships, I think is 10 mil, and as opposed to Arch HUD, which is just like a free GitHub download. So at some point, I might get into this a little bit more. I've started using it on a couple of my ships, and I need to work with it a little bit more to get used to it in order to do a full tutorial, but we'll probably do that at some point. And also the emergency controller, which is important if you've ever seen my videos on the emergency controller. And why do we have 2 seats? One for atmo, one for space. That's how you do it. All right. So let's go ahead and hop into pilot seat here, and you'll see this HUD does not look like anything from any of the other videos. So you've got a bunch of stuff: gravity, atmosphere, altitude, vertical speed, throttle, speed, travel mode, parking brake, and all the other good stuff. Just like Arch HUD, you just hit G to take off and then go. Let's see here. If we hit the status panel, we've got some stuff here. I'm not exactly sure how to turn off the brake toggle, but it looks like my brakes are going a little cray-cray. What the heck is going on here? Why are the lights flashing like it's the 4th of July? All right, let's hit G and just get off the ground here. And I'm doing some stutter. What is that about? It's probably because there's so many other freaking ships over here. Let's get away from those. We'll do a little taxiing here. It is very responsive. I will tell you that right now. I don't want brake toggle, but I don't know how to not brake toggle on this HUD. And what? Why are we freaking stuttering like? All right, folks. I'm gonna go ahead and restart. I'm gonna get this ship over here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and restart my my client, because this like we're having some frame issues here, and I don't like it. So I'm gonna shut the client down and dump my cache, and we will go ahead with the flight test after that. All right, looks like my frame rate issue has been fixed. It's always wonderful that you have to dump the entire game and then dump your cache in order for the game to work. But I'm in for the long haul, I guess. Just joking. Anyway, we got another button here to close the doors if you forgot again. Oh. And I just noticed again in post that my freaking microphone was not recording anything again. So apparently it wasn't OBS's fault. It's just my computer's fault because it doesn't freaking like UPS devices, USB devices, UPS. So yeah, I've got a new chipset and a new motherboard coming in this week. And as soon as that happens, I'm going to crack this motherboard in half and throw it in a freaking lake because woosah. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and I'm going to do this as voiceover so shit don't make sense. Well, sorry. Anyway, let's take a look at this thing as I try to figure out how to turn off the auto brake, whatever you call it, brake toggle, right? Because I'm not that familiar with Saga HUD. I'm going to go ahead and get with some friends who use it pretty regularly to try and get a more comprehensive understanding so I can do a tutorial on this for all of you later. But right now I do not know how to do a lot of things in here, like setting up autopilot pathing and things like that. Obviously, it's just G to get off the ground, like Arch HUD, and the descriptors are pretty self-explanatory. My only problem is that with the brake toggle, I'm not used to it, and sometimes I'll forget that it's on and crash into a planet or something. I don't know. It's easy to forget that it's toggling instead of just tapping, which is great in space. And I love that in Arch HUD you can turn it on and off through the settings at will. But in this, I'm not exactly sure how to turn it off. I'm sure there's like a keybind maybe or something, or maybe you just can't turn it off. Anyway, I love this thing for space, not so much for Atmo flight. All right, so let's get this thing up in the air. As you can see, we've got a nice trajectory line. We're not losing speed too much as we take off. But let's do our usual tests so we'll get balanced out here. And we'll do our yaw test first to see how that goes in terms of keeping up. Yeah, pretty much as expected. Lining up pretty slow there, and we are not, though, losing very much altitude in doing that. It's just not catching up very slow. I'm sure if I spun all the way around. But that's to be expected with as much weight as we're carrying on this thing. It is 1 kiloton, or a little bit over 1 kiloton. And it looks like we're hitting burn speed. I forget that this thing also doesn't have, what do you call it, atmo, what RCHUD does that keeps your atmo. Anyway, in our roll test here, it still takes a little bit to catch up, and we are starting to lose some vertical speed here pretty well. So can't fly like a fighter. It does catch up though a little bit faster than doing a yaw turn. So roll turning is okay. And again, that's probably because we have a lot of weight in here, and we need probably like double the amount of wings in order to get that happening. But what we really care about is, can this thing get into space, and can it come back down from space? And if it's got enough wings for that with the weight that it's rated at, then it's pretty good. You know, if you want to turn like a fighter, go take a look at my taco video. You could just flip that thing around in circles, and it just doesn't even care. All right, let's get this thing into space. We are losing a little bit of speed, but we've got a pretty good speed. You can see the atmosphere over there is going down 87654, and our space thrusters are kicking on. And we are going down. Nope, now we're going up in speed. So yeah, not very much fall off in transition there. Pretty good in terms of how much speed we're losing to how much speed we're gaining. It only took pretty much a couple seconds between the transition of the atmospheric and the space, and we're continuing to pick up speed. It is doing very well. Let's see if we can see how many warp cells it would take to ion. I'll set that warp point. All right, let's we seem to be missing the warp window. I don't know if that's a sagacious thing. Let's try this again. Simian, ion, set warp point. And no warp window. Let's see if there is a setting for that. Maybe it's subsumed by Sagacious's autopilot. I'm not seeing anything in navigation. I don't see anything in status. I don't see any. No, doesn't look like it. Well, oh, actually, you know what it is? I'm in the atmospheric seat. And I bet you the warp drive is only hooked up to the space seat. So let's go ahead and get out of this seat. And just so you know, you can hook up the warp drive to multiple seats. But let's go ahead and sit in the space seat. And, oh, yep, there it is. So it looks like 212 warp cells to ion. That's a pretty good number. I have seen lower, but those are usually ships that are just basically minimal voxel work, engines, a couple containers, and a seat. And they pretty much don't go into atmosphere. It's just space station to space station flight. So 212 is pretty good for a kiloton of weight on the ship. You know, as you get heavier and heavier ships to carry heavier and heavier loads, obviously that weight's going to go up and cost more warp cells, but this is pretty good. All right, let's throw our brakes on. We'll do a little bit of brake test, and speed is going down really fast. I like that. So we definitely have enough space brakes for the amount of weight that it's carrying. Obviously, if obviously if this thing was empty, it would go down like a champ. And we'll go ahead and flip over here, and I will set my destination back to Chimera headquarters. And as we do, I will go ahead and fast forward or skip ahead here to our reinsertion. All right. Here we go. We are at 20 kilometers in the atmosphere, and we're coming down. Brake toggle is working here. Now I do have to remember that I have a brake toggle engaged and not tapping to keep my speed down, because I want to stay under burn speed, but I also don't want to hit it and then go to like 200 kilometers per hour and kill myself, so to speak. You know how it is. You know how it is. This is just something I have to keep in mind here as we're going in. Brakes are engaged. Brakes are unengaged. Brakes are engaged. Brakes are unengaged. All right. So as we go in, I'm going to leave my throttle up about 50%. And hopefully once we hit that transition point, the wings will go ahead and do their job and catch us. But I'm going to take this a little bit cautiously and pretend that I am hauling a lot more weight than I should be. And that way we won't have any issues here as we transition from space to atmospheres. I'm going to point my nose up and throttle up full. And we'll tap the brakes a little to keep under burn speed here. And atmospherics have kicked in. And we should be seeing the wings pick up, well, a little bit slowly. Where are we at by the time? Let's see. And now we have full lift. So we lost about 500 meters on that. So not horrible at all. Like pretty good. Just over a kiloton of weight. So it's just something to keep in mind. Like it's not a good thing. I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's not really anything. It's just something to keep in mind that you do lose a couple hundred meters. So you probably don't want to try to do a dive at the ground when you're coming in and then pull up at the last second, because that'll make you shave off a lot more than 500 meters. So yeah, just take it cautiously when you're landing this thing. It seems like it does really well. And I mean, it's done really well for me. Okay, so let's see if I can land this thing with Saga's HUD. I'm not actually that used to it in atmosphere. We've got a good approach. And I am aiming for that open bit over there. Of course, we get some lag. Great. Oh, no. Too much brake. Too much brake. Too much brake. Pull up. Pull up. No, don't lag me out here. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Okay. No damage. No damage. Everything's fine. No damage. We just did a little tappy tap. Crap, I'm in parking mode. Okay, out of parking mode. Okay, I blame the brakes. I blame the brake toggle. It's your fault. Because it made me bleed too much speed. I just wanted to bleed a little speed. That's why I don't like brake toggle. Okay. Any landing you can walk away from, right? Okay. Let's get this stupid thing on the ground. And that was my fault. That wasn't the fault of the ship or anything. That is called Rob is not great with this HUD. However, let's get out of the seat and go check on the DU damage in the back. I believe it's on the first floor. Yeah. And we'll head all the way back. Running. Activate the board. Oh, yeah, nothing's damaged. Well, that is nice. I mean, you saw me tap that ship. And, I mean, we'll give the ship the credit for that instead of the game, because sometimes the game just decides it wants to blow you up for no reason. And as you can see, we did have 1.13 kilotons in here. 1.13. So it was loaded. I'm not making that up. And it did a very good job. You did a very good job, ship. Thank you very much. All right, information about this ship. Where do you get one? What's it for? All the other stuff. So this ship is going to be for sale starting Tuesday at the Summer Fly-In Freedom Festival, which is going on until the weekend, I believe. If we take a look at the DU events, it should tell me that this is running until the 16th. So it will be there starting tomorrow until the 16th, which is Friday. So you got from Tuesday to Friday to go see it in person at this event. If not, you can always message the creator in Discord. His name is nullfunction, and I will put that information in the description. And I will also put the location where the ship is going to be. So I will give you the coordinates so you can go fly over to the Freedom Festival. Check it out. Take a look yourself. Take a walk through. Pick one up on your own. Now, this ship is going to be limited to a run of 10 blueprints, which will be 15 million quanta each. He does not have tokens at this time, at least not until the market stabilizes. But he says that he will come and buff the ship for free. Free is a good number. And we'll support Saga's AP autopilot as well. If there's any updates, he'll just need to VR out and have the rights to update it. So that is where you will find the ship and all that good stuff. Right? Right. So as we always say at the end of these things, if you have a ship that you would like me to review, go ahead and send it on over. Just hit me up on Discord, Reddit, whatever. All my information is in the description. Just touch base. Let me know what kind of ship it is. Any specific information I need to know, like how you have it set up, how it works, anything that I might not know. Just walk in the front door so I don't look like a fool and go, "This ship does not fly forward." And you're like, well, it's a VTOL ship. It's not supposed to fly forward. And then I go, oh, crap, I got to re-record my whole video. So I look forward to hearing from you and testing out different ships. Otherwise, if you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. It really helps small content creators out in the long run for the algorithm and other things. And if you like all these videos and stuff like that, I hope you will subscribe. And also, if you hit that notification button, it will tell you every time I post a new video. So, friends and family, until next time, I will see you out there in space. Stay safe, my friends.